Yesterday, my next guest was there, Senator John Thune out of South Dakota, chairman of the Republican Conference. And Senator, good morning to you. And welcome
good morning,
back
Bill.
To our program
Thank
here.
You.
About 8 Republicans, 8 Democrats. You met with the president for about an hour. Give me a sense of the mood that was in that room, Senator.
I think the mood was hopeful. Obviously, every time you get together, it's a new session of Congress. This is the first meeting that we've had since we took over the majority. And so I think the president was attempting to reach out and to try and find some common ground. There are some things that we can work on together, but the thing that's, to me, is more important than the words, Bill, are the actions. And it's really going to be interesting to see whether or not the president, whether this was a Lucy in the football moment or whether he's really going to follow through on working with Republicans and trying to do some things constructively for the good of the country.
What does your gut tell you on that then?
Well, you know, I think the thing that worries me probably the most is all the veto threats that are coming out of the administration already. I mean, instead of waiting until there's a process where Congress can work and try and, you know, Keystone Pipeline's a good example, some other issues that the president's already issued veto threats on that are good for the economy, good for jobs, and he's already come out and said, nope, I'm not gonna work with you on those things. That's the thing. The troubling sign to me is not what the president's saying, but what he's doing.
Understood.
And I think that's the problem.
Specifically on his language yesterday, Senator, did he say, hey, we're going to work together on this or other things? What did he say?
He said that I think there's some things where on trade and cybersecurity, a few issues like that, he believes there's some common ground. But he also made it very clear that there are going to be differences. And I think we're fine with that. We expect there to be differences, but what we would like to see is if the president truly is committed, as we are, to putting policies in place that will grow the economy, create jobs, and strengthen our middle class in this country, that he not start down the path already of issuing veto threats and digging, lines in the ground and suggesting that his legacy is going to be more about hewing to his ideological base than it is about putting up a record of accomplishment for the country.
Did he recognize the results of the election from November?
Well, I think he does, but as it's been clear since the election, well, not really. I think he has already demonstrated that he's going to use executive powers to whatever lengths he can to get his agenda through. And for us, again, that's a message that we would rather see him reach out to the Congress in not only in word but in deed and actually demonstrate that he wants to work with us and actually solve some problems for the country and get the economy back on track, get people's incomes back up and a better quality of living for Americans.
Two specific questions. You mentioned the veto threat a couple times here already, anywhere from 2 to 5. What is the number so far?
On veto threats?
It's a minimum 2.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the 40-hour work week, Keystone, and there are a couple of other things out there, I think, as well, that he's already indicated.
When he talks about veto threats, how much do you think that is a public negotiating tactic?
I don't think it's a very good negotiating tactic. The negotiating tactic for me is, send a proposal up here to Congress if you've got an idea. If you don't, let Congress do its work, and then let's have a discussion about whether or not the bill can be improved in a way that would get the president to sign it. I think right away, coming out of the gate, issuing veto threats suggests to us, and I think suggests to most Americans, that the president's already got his mind made up. And on a lot of these issues, which again are issues related to jobs in the economy, which the president says he wants to address, this isn't the way to go about it.
Yeah. Well, you've got a stronger hand now. We'll see what Republicans do with it.
Well, we're going to do everything we can.
John Thune, thank you.
Thanks, Bill.
All right.